People are ensorcelled by my charm, but I'm really not very nice.
What did you just say?
Ensorcelled.
Ensorcelled?
It's a word.
You looked that up today, didn't you?
No, I say it all the time.
Where did you learn that word?
I forget.
Where did you learn that word? Kramer, what are you doing? You crazy!
I think I got it from a movie.
Ensorcelled, you say? What is
it? Ensorcelled. Look it up. See if it's real.
I'm not saying. I don't
I'm asking
disbelieve
you. I don't really
just
know.
don't. Wait, what? You just said you do.
Look it up.
You making stuff up? I don't want you guys using words around me. I don't mean it.
Hinky. Who doesn't understand hinky? Should we say the movie we're doing this about when we're done?
We did.
Sneakers?
Oh, that.
Yeah. Oh,
that's
Fugitive. The Fugitive. I'm sorry.
You ding dong. You know that kinship you feel when someone gets the obscure movie quote you tossed out in a conversation?
Kids, I love them.
Welcome to Such a Good One, a podcast where two siblings bond over their unabashed love for the movies they grew up on. I'm Josh Cook.
And I'm Jessi Cook.
Come digress with us. The Goodbye Girl.
So good.
Bye, girl.
Bye, Felicia.
I think you said it's so good, and I said bye, girl. See?
That's funny.
Because you said
it's such a good one. Bye, girl.
Such a goodbye, girl.
Yeah.
Such a goodbye, girl. One.
Right. It's really. Is it Neil Simon? Is it Neil Simon?
It's his mother.
Mom? Answer it.
Hello, mother.
We're recording the podcast, Mom.
Hello, mother.
What are you doing? Josh is making fancy
you think
pizza
she thought you were in a ditch somewhere.
Oh my God. Mom, check your phone. Check your phone.
No, she's going to be. She wasn't coming to get it. I'm going to send her back later. But I just want to let you know, Jessi, Mom thought you were in a ditch.
I said, Mom. I said, at house with Linus, recording with Josh tonight, so we'll probably go straight there. She said, okay. I said, I'll be home tonight and we'll help with tomorrow party stuff.
She said, it doesn't matter. She doesn't really give a damn. You gave her no time frame, and goodbye.
I said, oh my God.
I want to say this about this movie. I really probably saw it once or twice back in the day. It did have a big impression on me. I actually
You didn't like it? Is that what you're about to tell me?
No.
Oh, good.
No, I had a big impression on me when I was younger because I think in a lot of ways, actually, Richard Dreyfuss in this kind of like, I don't know, it definitely rattled around in my head of like, oh, being an actor was...
You said that about Robert Redford, too.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
He's one of them. I put Marsha Mason as my favorite actress on my autobiography in 3rd grade.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a strange person to put in 3rd grade.
I love that movie.
Okay.
But let's just discuss. That means I saw The Goodbye Girl in 3rd grade.
Yeah, that's weird.
Which puts me around 8, not...
Well, it's around the age, Lucy's age, the girl in the movie.
Oh, God,
she's supposed
funny.
to be 9. She's great.
She's great.
But you know what? But because I'd seen it once or twice, there are a few lines and things I remembered, and actually a few that I was like, oh, that's where that's from, that I'd totally forgotten about.
Oh, yeah.
Which is, especially when
You're not the only one that could scream rape,
That's an amazing line.
It's such a
which
great
I had forgotten
line.
about that. But also, it's the one little moment when Lucy's sick and she's like, and he's like in a panic and he's going out with his guitar and she goes, "Is that bicarbonate?"
You're incredible.
He goes, "Is that bicarbonate?" He goes, "Don't start with me." And it's the I've always said that and I didn't realize that's where it was from.
That's one of the best Richard Dreyfuss roles of all time.
Well, the thing is though, I looked this up and there's a bunch of stuff that I did not know about this movie that's really fascinating.
Well, okay.
Do you know anything about this movie?
No, but I know that I think Marsha Mason is beautiful. I thought she was so gorgeous. And one night when I was working in a restaurant, I was waiting on this table and the woman looked just like her. And I said, "You look just like this actress. I think she's so beautiful, but I'm kind of I don't know how you're going to react." Because some people are like everyone tells me I look like Amy Adams. And Amy Adams, you're very beautiful, but it's not my favorite
Amy Adams
comparison. I don't know why. It's not. And what am I saying? Oh, and I told her and she went, "Oh, thanks." And I was like, "Oh, I meant like circa 70s." She was like, "Okay." And I was like, "Oh." So that didn't go well.
So that had nothing to do with the movie at all. Well, what I was talking about, because I was saying interesting about the movie, and then you told a story about how you insulted someone by saying Marsha Mason.
That's relevant.
So I don't know if you noticed that Richard Dreyfuss won the Oscar for this.
What? I did not know that.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He won the Oscar for this. And it also it was nominated for Best Picture. It was nominated. Marsha Mason was nominated. Quinn Cummings was nominated.
Who's that?
The girl,
The
Lucy.
girl? Stop.
Neil Simon was nominated. It won. Richard Dreyfuss won. Let's say the Oscar, the BAFTA,
Awesome.
The Golden Globe. I think actually if I'm not mistaken, I think they all won gold. Let's see.
Wow.
He won. Okay, the movie won Best Comedy or Musical for the Golden Globes. Oh, this is weird. Marsha Mason won Best Actress Golden Globe, but it was tied with Diane Keaton for Annie Hall. I guess they both won.
Didn't enjoy that film.
What?
I don't really remember it.
Okay.
I didn't. If I don't like, I love The Goodbye Girl. If I watch one of those films, I'm like, I don't remember it.
So different.
I don't care.
So
I'm just saying it's the
wildly
reaction
different.
to it.
Well, I think Annie Hall's won the Oscar that year. That's why they didn't win. They won the Oscar, but let's see. Neil Simon, he won the Golden Globe for screenplay.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't realize this is not a play. First, this is just he wrote this for the screen.
Oh, cool.
Which I did not know that either.
It's very good.
That was really, but I was like blown away by that. I had no idea that it was that popular. I thought it was sort of like in the wheelhouse of like Owl and the Pussycat, like this random little 70s film that like most people don't know. This is fascinating too, by the wayside.
BT dubs.
So the Richard III that he's doing apparently is based off of a production that Marsha Mason did, where she was Lady Anne, and she was, I don't know if you know this, she was married to Neil Simon, Neil Simon's wife.
I did not know that at the time.
Yeah, so she's in like all of his movies.
Are they still married?
I don't know actually. I think he passed away a while ago. I don't know about her though.
She's still alive. She was in Grace and Frankie.
So well there you go. So apparently this took place at the Public in New York, this production that she was in, and Michael Moriarty played Richard III, who I only bring up because Dad always brings him up because he went to Dartmouth with him.
Oh.
And he's always like, Michael Moriarty.
Weird. Okay.
So
now is the winter of our discontent.
Now is the winter of our discontent.
Can I have a 5-minute break, please? 5 minutes.
So bizarre. But yeah, so I love that that's based off a real thing. It's so fun. I love how, we'll talk about how that director too is from the Addams Family. That guy is such a great character actor. He's the judge.
Yes.
I believe these belong to you.
Adams!
Damn you, Adams!
Oh, I hate that.
This was originally, because this is why I realized it wasn't written for a play. This was originally called Bogart Slept Here.
What?
And it was starring De Niro.
Oh, no.
Robert De Niro. No. And it was be directed by, I think, Mike Nichols, if I'm not mistaken.
I just licked it again.
Please stop licking the microphone.
I mean to. You tell me to get close. I got close.
It's just a very loud, it's a big, echoey room, so the closer the better. Originally titled Bogart Slept Here. Mm-hmm. De Niro, Mike Nichols. The story is supposedly based on Dustin Hoffman's life as a struggling actor.
What?
Yeah. And anyway, blah, 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 blah. Artistic differences.
We should do Tootsie.
The artistic differences. 2 weeks into the shoot, after several table reads, De Niro and Nichols left. Jack Nicholson, James Caan, and some other guy named Tony LoBianco were in the running, I guess. And then Dreyfuss was brought into test against Marsha Mason, and then it worked or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Herbert Ross, this is fascinating too. The director of this, this is very interesting. You will be interested in this. No idea who this director was.
Is he related to Catherine Ross?
No, but he was for a while like married into the Kennedys. He was like an uncle to Catherine Kennedy or something. Anyway, so Herbert Ross, the director of this, he directed many a thing. I know some of them are really well known, like My Blue Heaven, Steel Magnolias.
Oh, yes.
Get ready for this one. Footloose.
Whoa.
Another Neil Simon, California. He did a lot of Neil Simon. California Sweet Sunshine Boys, Funny Lady, played against Sam.
I like your hat. They
And
sell men's clothes where you got that?
Owl and the Pussycat.
Oh.
So this guy, I don't know how I'd never really heard of him, but he has directed a bunch of like films that we watched growing up. A lot of great movies. And then this was a crazy little fact too. He directed 12 different actors in Oscar-nominated performances.
So he's good at his job, is what you're telling me.
He hit his peak in 77, which is this year, which he directed 7 of the 20 nominated performances, which is crazy.
Oh, wow.
However, I will say this, and I know we're probably gonna get in a little bit of a row or a row, however you want to say about this.
I'm trying to sit still.
I don't love Marsha Mason in this movie.
Oh, wow.
I think she's not great.
Whoa.
She's got moments. She got
What do you not like about her?
Well, it's not. I should say this. It's not completely just me.
You don't think their dynamic is good?
I just don't believe her. I don't think she especially like the whole opening sequence where she's walking around with Lucy. Like that whole dialogue is like it's so stiff and unbelievable. The kid's great, but I just don't.
Who would you put
her.
in her place?
I don't know.
Terry Garr?
I have no idea. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I didn't really think about that. But I wanted to say this. This is
Fonda would be amazing, but she's amazing at everything.
So this is Roger
Fonda would
Ebert's
crush it.
review. Neil Simon's The Goodbye Girl is a funny movie with its heart finally in the right place, but all sorts of unacknowledged complications lurk just beneath its polished surface.
Oh, dear.
The surface is pure Simon, which means it's a funny, sad, tough, warm story. Basically, nice people who are given 3 snappy one-liners. Too many to be totally human. This time, Simon has slipped in some subtleties we might miss the first time around. Not so wonderful is the way the Marsha Mason character is written and acted.
Oh.
She's hardly ever sympathetic. Sure, she's been burned by a lot of guys, but she's so hard-edged, you wonder how she met them in the first place. She sees the situation strictly in economic terms, consistently behaves as a bitch.
I can relate to her.
But I read that. I was so surprised that he wrote that.
I can relate to her.
How were you like, you're just like, oh yeah, bitch. Like I was shocked that he wrote that. No, I mean, like, I agree with the sentiment of it, but like the fact that he actually wrote behaves as a bitch in his review is kind of shocking.
You know, wait, pause. You know who would be amazing in it, but wouldn't have been the right age at the time? Riley from the Dream Team. She would be amazing in that.
She'd be interesting. She's tough. She's tough though.
Yeah, but she's adorable.
She's hard edged though.
No, she's not.
Behaves, but gives Dreyfus
Lorraine
no
Brock.
reason. Gives Dreyfus no reason for getting to like her. That's what caught my eye because I think that's true. Like if you watch this, she's in no way like there's nothing appealing about her and like how she behaves in any way. She is given a few moments to show, and I actually wrote one of them down. But I thought was her best acting in the movie. Anyway, and then Dreyfus on the other hand.
Is it when she's talking to him when he's putting her to sleep?
No, I don't buy her there either. Dreyfus, on the other hand, is great. It goes on about how him and everything, and they say he says that the Richard III production is the funniest in a movie, funniest sequences in a movie since Mel Brooks' Springtime for Hitler.
It was garbage.
Anyway, I just wanted to read those snippets. He basically says that the movie is good. He gives it like 3 out of 4 stars. He says it's like an enjoyable movie. It's good. You kind of get where it's going. He says the little girl's great. He's great. Do you have so much gas? You have burped like
No,
I don't know how many times.
I'm not burping. So what I'm doing is, you know what? I'm
Are
sweating.
Are you vaping?
I'm going like this. I'm blowing in my face because I'm so hot. I'm not burping. I'm just so hot.
I
I'm
turned
sweating.
the air conditioning.
My head is wet. I'm so hot.
How is this possible?
I'm hot all day.
Why is that?
I don't know.
I don't understand you.
I don't know.
Cool down. Take a chill pill.
Chillax. See?
I don't care for this at all. I don't like this behavior one bit. This is disgusting. I liked the review because I thought it was interesting and fair, and I totally agree with the Marsha Mason thing, and that's why, like, I think the role, it's a tough role in that way. To be fair, she has been, what do they say, keep saying, dumped on a lot. And so I understand her being guarded and all that kind of stuff. But
Well, technically, we don't know that because she had an ex-husband. We don't really know what happened. She got dumped on by that guy, but she could also have been real bitchy. So I'm telling you, I relate to her.
Okay. The opening shot of this movie is like the side of it's like a really weird angle of a bus mirror, a bus like window for some reason, I think, if I remember correctly.
They're getting off the bus, aren't they?
They're on the bus, and there's like weird dialogue, and I said, "Holy hell, that '70s music!"
Oh yeah,
and it's Dave Grusin again, and who's doing like which music? It is like the cheesiest '70s music imaginable.
It's like a really slow, bad version of a news show.
I was gonna say it's like sitcom interstitial music from the '80s or '70s, like like it's so cheesy, and they're talking, and you're kind of getting.
I liked it again. Stupid microphone.
It's not the microphone. The microphone stays.
I'm going like this.
The microphone Then move it further away.
Then you say you can't hear me.
Stop. No, I can't hear you when you start talking like this. Oh my gosh. Anyway. So it starts with the two of them.
Mm-hmm.
The Marsha Mason, who plays Paula, and the girl Lucy. She's like 9-year-old.
Sassy as all getting
so
out.
funny. She's some of the best lines in the movie, and she's excellent.
I didn't know what else to say.
Oh yeah. So she's great. And so I said the whole opening credit sequence is kind of rough, like acting wise for Marsha Mason. But you're getting all the backstory. They're all excited. They're moving to California. You're getting that she's dating this guy.
He's an actor.
Tony, who's an actor.
Tony DeForest, and he's an actor. And we never meet him, but they get back to the apartment and he's gone. And they're all supposed to move in California together because he got a movie in California. And they're all moving to California together. And then she finds he left her a letter, and the letter basically is like, I turned that one down, and I'm going to do a Bertolucci film in Italy and Spain, and I can't take you with me. And like, gosh, I'm not even divorced yet, really. Bye.
Yeah.
Adios.
What's
goodbye in Italian?
Arrivederci? I don't know.
Arrivederci. That's all. He went to Italy.
Yeah, we went to Italy and left them after, like, I guess 2 years.
He didn't leave us anything?
Yeah.
I love that.
They've been together for 2 years, totally ditched her. She freaks out. Lucy reads. She says, "This is one of the worst letters I've ever read in my whole life."
Isn't it terrible? Oh.
So they've got dumped, and now she's got to figure out what she's going to do for money.
You leaving tonight or in the morning?
Before that, though, she goes back to dance class because she was we get that she was a Broadway, fairly well-known dancer on Broadway. She was in Chorus Line and all this kind of stuff.
How do you know she was in Chorus Line?
Because there's that scene where the girl comes, she goes, "I covered for you in Chorus Line." Yeah. And she was in Chorus Line. She was on these big Broadway musicals, but she gave it all up to be with Tony. And so, but there's this line, painful now to listen to. I think she's in a dance class and she's like trying to get back in shape. And the dance instructor's like, "Come on, Paula, whatever." She goes, "I'm 33. I can hardly walk anymore." And you're like, "Ooh.
Paula, what did you do to your body? It died. Show some respect."
It died. Great line. And it's something about Neil Simon's writing. It's so great. You see it in Barefoot in the Park and so many things. That's why he was such
I can hardly walk anymore.
Legendary comedy writer, maybe the most legendary in theater, at least. Yes.
Oh, that's what it was. In the letter, he's like, "You can always go back to dancing," and she's like, "Dancing? I'm 33. I can hardly walk anymore."
Yeah,
I was right again.
That's probably where it is. And then she goes to dance class. She ran into Donna Douglas, and that's who used to cover for her, and they got to know each other. It's important later on.
They become friends.
She walks home. She sees the landlady. The landlady's like, when are you leaving?" And she's like, "Well, we're not." And she's like, "Oh, well, that apartment's been sublet."
She's pissed.
She's super pissed that she says, "I'm not leaving.
Well, I'm not leaving.
I'm not leaving this place.
I cleaned it and painted it and decorated it. It's mine."
And the landlady's like, "I don't care. Just take it up with the subletter. Just don't make any trouble." And so that night,
I love when she goes, "That bastard, that no good bastard." And she goes, "Mm-hmm." I love that. And she's ripping down the posters. He's got pictures of himself all over the apartment.
That was so funny to me. That's right. After this conversation, she goes to the apartment and she starts tearing everything that was his down.
And it's all pictures of him.
All pictures of him. It's a great detail that there are pictures of this guy. And it's like solo shots.
Yeah,
there's a
headshot.
There's a full-size poster of the
yeah.
guy on the wall, which she throws like a bottle of wine at or something.
Yeah. Perfume, I think.
So she tells Lucy, she's like, about the sublet, whatever, and so they go to bed, I guess. Then Richard Dreyfuss' character arrives. What's Elliot Garfield. He arrives and he's this total it's pouring rain outside. He's in a cab. He's got this guitar and an armful of like all his possessions. He comes up to this door.
It's raining.
To the door. He unlocks it and he opens it, and the chain is keeping it closed. And so I think
3A. 3A. This is the right apartment.
And Dreyfuss in this movie is he's just so much energy.
He is.
Like, he is manic throughout this whole movie.
Yeah, and he's like everything that a theater, like, he's a bit of a narcissist. Like, he's so arrogant, so into himself, and then he's into like meditation and like all that, like a lot of Eastern stuff. And he's a health nut.
Yeah, there are so many elements of him, of people that I have met when I was coming up.
He's so LA.
Well, it's funny because he comes from Chicago in the movie, and I but he truly is like all the things that he's into. I mean, I guess a lot of actors have always been into those things, but yeah, the meditation, and he repeatedly says, "My body's a temple. I don't put anything, unnatural in it or something of that nature." And he, yeah, but he's just this incredible like burst of life and energy in this thing. And I forgot to look up if this was.
And it's the foil to her just like burning negativity. Like she's so spiteful and like resentful and full of rage.
Reasonably so. Sure. I mean, and that's why I'm saying it's understandable the criticism of her, like of the character. The character is so. I mean. It's
miserable.
Hard. It's hard to say though, because I do think it is there in the writing, her trajectory, and she is given moments to change. And one or two of them she does really, really well. But overall, like, I don't know. You said they remade this and you hated it, right?
I couldn't get through it. Look, this kind of reminds me of Barefoot in the Park, and like how I don't remember enough of it. But what I do remember was it seemed to me, I could be wrong, that they were doing everything and they were trying to it was so long ago. I felt like she was trying to do everything the same way that she did, and it wasn't landing.
Well, they
she
did
just didn't have the
exact same script, and almost like a scene for. I think
it was scene for scene. It was so, and I'm like, you can't redo that. And like, I like Jeff Daniels, but Jeff Daniels in Richard Dreyfuss's role, like,
I'm curious what his take, because he's way calmer than Dreyfuss, like in general.
You just didn't buy it. You're like, you're not that guy. You're not energetic and like Bill Murray, maybe like Dustin Hoffman, definitely.
Well, but Dustin Hoffman also has that kind of manic sensibility. The thing is, like, if this character is played not manic, like I imagine Jeff Daniels would play this character
more dry, like very.
But if you do, then the character's just a jerk, because then he's like super into himself. He's holier than thou. He thinks he's better than everybody. But with Dreyfuss does this as this kind of like manic, like fast talking, like and everything. Like, he'll be self-deprecating, but then he talks about how great he is and everything, and he goes on and on and on. You almost forgive him because it almost feels like it's a character he's created to protect himself.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's like, but if you're kind of like relaxed about it, then you're going to come across as a jerk. He comes across as arrogant as he is, he comes across vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think.
It's definitely self-preservation.
You feel like he could easily be popped. And he is later.
Well, he's very drunk, but he is.
And not drunk. It's really that scene after the play. It's so well done.
It's so sad.
It's just, and he doesn't say a word, and you're just like, you really see. I mean, I'm not surprised he won. It is kind of surprising he won the
He does
Oscar.
show a range of emotion. I mean,
they never give Oscars to like comedy performances. And he did. I don't know how many. There's probably a handful throughout all of Oscar history. And he did. Really? But yeah, I think you have to play it like this, or it becomes, you get into like, people won't root for you. And that's what Ebert was saying about her, is like, you don't really root for her, because she's just, you're kind of almost like, what does he see in her? Yeah,
you would think he would want, and I think that's the thing, is she is a bit not shallow, but she doesn't have a lot of dimension, and you feel like he would get on with someone who a little like him but can balance him out. But anyway, enough of trashing Marsha Mason. Let's talk about how much we like this movie.
I feel bad because I usually just try to not speak bad, and I'm not saying she has a lot of great moments. There are a lot of things in there I just kind of have a hard time buying with her. But which, by the way, it may not be her fault. It might be in the writing, it might be the directing, whatever. Anyway, so Dreyfuss arrives with this huge burst of energy. He tries to get it. does he first?
Oh, wait.
That's right.
Does he leave?
Does he ring the buzzer? No, I think he rings the buzzer.
Yes.
And then she comes to the door, and he's trying to get her to open the door, and then and he's like, I think there's a mistake. I have a slip. I rented this for my friend Tony DeForest. I rented this apartment. I have a sublet. I have a slip.
News to my husband, Charlie.
Yeah, my husband Charlie. She says her husband's a cop.
Charlie D'Agostino, homicide.
And a homicide detective. And she won't let him in, and she slams the door in his face. So he goes to a phone booth outside, and he calls there, and it wakes her up, and she pretends to wake up, I guess. And they have this whole thing where they basically, throughout this conversation, which is very funny and witty, he kind of figures out what's happened.
I called the 27th precinct.
Yeah, there is no Charlie D'Agostino.
Homicide.
Yeah, and he's like I'm he's in this telephone booth. It's pouring rain. He's all his belongings. He's starting a play, an off-Broadway play in the morning. He's got no place to sleep. He's got a coupon, not a coupon. He's got a receipt in his pocket for the sublet, and he thinks that Tony must have ditched her and sublet apartment and whatever. So eventually, he's like begging with her. He's like, if you have any compassion at all, I don't have any more change. I don't have any more change. I can't call you.
I'm trying to work it out, operator.
Yeah, which I read someone saying, it might be confusing watching this nowadays as to what he's doing in that booth.
I know, right?
It's a phone booth, and he's asking cabbies for change, and
I got a pregnant wife in the lobby. I just want change,
so we can call. And he's like, if you have any capacity, I have no more change. I can't call you back. If you have any compassion at all, please call. Oh gosh! And then she does call him back, lets him in. She has a timer set, 5 minutes. He comes in, he tries to be really charming and everything, and then he goes through the various voices and accents of this whole movie, and you never really quite know what's really him and what's not. But I guess that's part of his entire character. They have this fantastic line, which I've always remembered, and again did not remember that it was from this movie. When right before he's coming up, she's told Lucy that he's coming up, and let her in. She goes. She says, it's like, it's our apartment, it's ours. He's not taking it. Possession is 9/10 of the law. And Lucy goes, what's the other 10th?
Shut up.
And
then she goes, is that the other 10th? She hears him ring the bell.
Yeah, he rings the bell.
Is that the other 10th?
Is that the other 10th? Yeah. So she lets him in. They have this witty banter. Also I always remembered before I'd ever read the play, because I think I knew this.
Play.
Huh?
I thought you said it wasn't a play.
I'm not finished my thought yet. Oh. I got a lawyer acquaintance downtown.
Oh, yeah.
He's like, look, this is my place. This is my place. Listen, if we have any more problems, listen, I happen to have a lawyer acquaintance downtown. And then she stares at him and goes, oh my God, what? You're an actor.
Another goddamn actor. I happen to have a lawyer acquaintance. Right out of Streetcar Named Desire. Stanley, what was it?
Yeah, and then he's got Stanley Kowalski, and he's like, and you can see he's kind of prideful about it. Like, oh, yes, I am. And then, something
Wrong.
about him.
Chicago in the Dead of Winter.
Yeah, that's right. he played Stanley Kowalski, and then he tells her what the reviews were, and she's like, oh my God. I guess I knew that before I ever read Streetcar, so I always remembered that lawyer acquaintance line. And then so eventually. Oh, that's
what
right.
are you, a critic?
Well, hold on a second. Before, where is it that she says something like, you have 5 minutes, and if you don't get out of here, I'm going to scream rape or something like that.
Yeah.
And then
do me the courtesy of hearing me out, please. You're not the only one who can scream rape,
Yeah, later on in the scene. You're not the only one who could scream rape, And throws this scarf around. It's so funny.
Oh, and she's like...
And it's the first moment you see her she's kind of amused by that. It's the only time... that's the first time for a long time that you see any of that. So eventually, after a lot of bickering and witty banter and all this great stuff, he eventually says, why don't we split the apartment? And then she's like, I accept. And he's like, what? And it's immediate. And she goes, I'm not crazy. I realize that,
you have a key. I'd have to stand guard all day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she says, okay, we're going to split the apartment. So he goes to grab his stuff from the hallway. He goes into the wrong bedroom, and it's Lucy. And he's like, oh, hi. I'm, how are you? I'm Ellie Garfield. And then she's completely like, okay, whatever.
He leaves, and she's like, Jesus.
Yeah, no, whatever their whole conversation is, the kid's just, Jesus. He goes into Lucy's room. She's taking all the stuff out of Lucy's room. And I love this sequence where Marsha Mason just starts laying down the law. These are the rules in the apartment. Lucy, is trying to do homework this time, so be quiet. This is going to happen. This is going to happen. The food is ours, so, have your own food. And she's just really like, this is my, you will not come in here. You try to keep it quiet, blah, blah, blah. Keep it down. Do this, do that, okay? Them's the rules. Got it? And he immediately, she hands him a towel. Got it? And he goes, no. He's like, I don't like that. And then the first thing, they're in a bathroom and they have all their underwear is like hanging up there. And he goes, first of all, what does he say?
I don't like the panties drying on the rod.
Don't like the panties drying on the... and he goes back and reverses all of her rules and then finally ends with...
Keep your salt pepper to yourself.
He finally ends with one last thing. He's like, I sleep in the nude. El Buffo.
Winter or summer, rain or shine with the windows open. I love
He
that.
basically is warning her.
He's
like,
naked,
I sleep in the
I don't
nude. I
care.
walk around naked at night. So unless you want a cheap thrill or advanced education for your daughter, stay out of it.
Yeah.
Stay in your room at night.
Yeah.
And he also plays guitar to fall asleep.
Yes.
That's like the...
La, da, 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 da. I love that part. But he's like, also, I meditate in the morning, complete with chanting and burning incense. So if you, like, whatever, if you're around, I'd appreciate a little tiptoeing.
Yeah, that's right. And so it's a great kind of tit for tat of like who's in charge in a power struggle, and it comes up.
Then my rule, she goes, "Do I have a choice? No."
Yeah, it comes up throughout the movie because he has paid the place. She doesn't pay for the place.
No,
he owns the place. He's letting her stay there.
Well, she paid up through June, so
that's
they're
right.
overlapped.
Oh, that's right. I forgot.
I paid up through June. Like I don't know what month.
That's right. That's right. She's furious, and she goes back into the bedroom, and you start hearing the guitar. And she gets in bed. She's like, "Oh, Lucy, I'm so sorry. Did that guitar wake you?" She goes, "No, you did." Which is so great.
I love that. Are you? She like rushes out of the bedroom. She's like, "Mr. Garfield,
yeah,
are you decent?" Yes. And she walks in. She goes, "I have a."
Oh my God, you're naked. You said you were decent. I am decent. I also happen to be naked.
I love it. He's like, but it's like if you insist, take 2 sleeping pills and stick one in each ear. La, da, 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 da.
Yeah, it's like, you obviously can see where this is going, but it's so well met. And in the morning, they're woken up by him meditating, meditating in the living room.
What is that? It sounds like God.
Sounds like God. And she goes, "What is incense? It is what I am feeling right now." He also does this great. So she comes out. She's pissed at him about this. He's pissed. She's pissed about meditating and waking them up. And I don't know what he's saying during this, but there's this great low angle shot of him in his full kind of lotus position pose. And as he's talking to her, he's doing these crazy neck stretches. And it's so funny.
But when he's still voting, he's like, and she keeps complaining. He goes, Miss McFadden.
Yeah.
Today I start rehearsal for my first Broadway play.
My first off-Broadway play.
And am I nervous? No.
Like
I am not nervous.
Doing that now, he must have been in his late 20s or early 30s because it's painful me doing that. But he goes on and on. It's such a great choice. It's so funny.
It is funny.
And it's like it makes that scene absolutely, because what he's saying is not interesting particularly or funny. It's just his delivery and stuff. It's so great. And I can't. It's such a great, I don't know. Whenever you could do a scene and there's some kind of great physicality that you can assign to it, it just makes it so much more fascinating. That's why they always say actors should never work with children or animals.
Because they take the scene away?
Because they're so naturally and earnestly unpredictable that they're way more fascinating to watch.
Are you calling Richard Dreyfuss an animal?
No.
Okay.
I'm saying he's a good actor because this is the kind of thing. Like, it's clearly a choice, and it's makes sense in the scene and what he's doing, and he is absolutely uncompromising in what he has to do to get ready. So it makes total sense, but it makes him so much more fascinating to watch.
It does.
Than had he just been like, Miss McFadden, today I'm starting a Broadway play.
It is, that's true.
Blah, blah, blah. But the fact that he's doing this the whole time, it's really funny.
He's in performance mode all the time.
All the time.
But it's not.
It's exhausting.
Okay, now I do love Jim Carrey a lot, but it's not over the top. I love it. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Love that movie.
It's one of my favorite movies.
It's an
it's one I would
movie.
I would recast like that.
Yeah, but it's so good. Anyway, continue.
Anyway, I'm so mean today.
You are a little bit mean. You're also ruining my chance of meeting celebrities.
What? How am I meeting your chance of meeting one? You don't know Jim Carrey.
I don't care.
I never met him.
I don't care.
I don't know the man.
He's
a fascinating individual, but I don't know him.
You have some very nice qualities.
Yeah.
That's a line from the movie, in case you didn't remember. Okay, continue.
I remember.
All right.
I remember.
And then he goes,
What's that from? I remember. We talked about it earlier.
Hook.
Anyway,
Dustin Hoffman's so good.
then she's at a Broadway audition.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of these cattle calls audition.
And a 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a...
This is why I never, when I went to Broadway Theater Project when I was in high school, which is the Anne Ranking thing.
And where you met your wife.
I did. I met
Your
her
future
there.
wife.
Yeah, although we didn't know each other
Which
then.
is funny because I saw that picture.
I know.
Like
There's a
this
picture
morning.
of us
Yeah.
together as teen. We weren't together. We just had, it was a large group picture. It was like 10 people, and she and I are both in it. We weren't friends. She was 13 or 14. I was like 17. So I didn't know her then. But when I went back to teach years later is when we met. But anyway, the point is, when I went there, I was one of 2 actors that were let in. There was like 90 students at that point.
Wow.
It was an amazing intensive program that Anne Ranking, who was Bob Fosse's protege, and she remounted Chicago that year. And all these amazing Broadway legends came. Joel Grey, Gregory Hines, Savion Glover.
Great. You met Gregory Hines?
Yes.
Oh, God,
he was awesome.
He's gorgeous.
There were so many. Gwen Verdon came.
If I could be with someone forever, it would be Gregory Hines. He is so handsome.
Okay.
Oh, my God.
I've told you about this before.
I
I told you he said, and I believed him.
He
although
wanted
I never
to meet
saw
me?
No, he didn't. No. What? No, he said that if any of us ever saw him on the street, to be like, hey, Greg. He's like, I saw you on Broadway Theater Project. He's like, tell me that. I'll take you out for a coffee. And I believe that he would have. Like he's
so
such a lovely
beautiful.
man. He was so lovely and so talented. There were so many
I wish he
incredible
was
people there.
alive.
Why was I talking about that? Oh, right. Because I went down there as an actor. Me and one other guy, Darren, was the only other actor there. And we went there, and it was like the other 88 people
Or dancers.
were insanely talented dancers and singers. And the only reason I bring this up is because I watched this scene where Marsha Mason is like, they're doing the choreography and they show you like once. They're like, okay, and this, ba, da, 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 and you got it, and 5, 6, 7, 8. And then they do it.
3, 4,
and like
5,
that,
6, 7,
when you're
8.
at a dancer
Oh my
at that
God.
level, that's what you do. You watch it once and then you absolutely nail it. And it's
do
incredible.
not understand. I don't.
I actually, so when I was there, I saw them dancing. And again, Anne Ranking was Chicago. This was the summer of 96. In the fall of 96, Chicago was remounted on Broadway, the one that's still running today. It's insane. Brilliant show, by the way. Amazing. And I got to see the whole original cast in it.
And you went backstage.
Yeah.
Did you see BB Newirth? I guess you did.
I didn't really know her then. She came later, but I knew Anne. Like here I was at 17 years old, and she called me back. She was like, "Josh," and like gave me this.
my
hug. I felt
God.
like the most important person in the world. She was incredible.
Oh, wow.
I was so sad when she
I
passed
missed that
away.
opportunity
And even
as
though I
well.
didn't really know her that well, obviously, but she was so kind and what a wonderful,
And beautiful.
incredible performer she was. But anyway. Yeah, so watching those dancers, Annie working out the choreography for Chicago with the students. Like she was workshopping stuff with them, which was an incredible experience. And a lot of them ended up in that and Fosse and other things. I was like, oh no, this is not for me.
Oh my God.
I will not be able to do that. Nor more importantly, I guess, did I want to.
Step together, bow.
I just saw it and I was like, no, that's not for me. But anyway, yeah, so
And Alicia's like an amazing
she's
dancer.
phenomenal. She could do all of that.
Oh my God.
Annie loved her. But anyway, so yeah, this scene is so brutal. She's out of breath and she's tired and she knows the director. He's like, "Oh, Paula, is that you? Oh, hi, Ronnie."
I need him really.
Yeah, and so he's obviously got a friend in this director, wants to see her do well, but she does it. She can't keep up, and he's like, "Not bad, Paula." After taking time off, but the problem is I need him really young. And she goes, "Yeah, do it."
No,
it.
you do it.
You
Do it.
Young. I'll work on that. It's so funny.
And is that when Donna
I love it.
Douglas?
She's 33.
When does she?
Insane.
When does Donna say like I've got this gig? Like,
I think it's
is it
there.
the
I think
first
it's
one?
in that
one or the
scene.
first one?
I think it's in that
And
scene
so
right there.
so this kind of like friend of hers is like, listen, I have a gig. It doesn't pay that well, but it's great.
No,
And
it's in a dance class later. But the
It
point
is-
is,
oh,
yeah,
that's right,
That's
okay.
how she ends up getting the job. But the point is, yeah, she was. So we see her auditioning for this Broadway show. Then we go to the Richard III rehearsal, which is so.
God.
So that's why Elliot's moved here to do this off Broadway production of Richard III with this insane director whose name I did not look up, and I feel bad because he's a great character actor. We mentioned he's the Addams Family.
He's in a lot of stuff.
But oh my gosh, it's so funny. And from doing, I've only done one off-Broadway show, but it was like we would all kind of hang around like that. I mean, we weren't smoking in the room like they were in this, but like, and you kind of just like talk about ideas and stuff. And like in this, some people would read poetry because we were doing a show that had a lot to do with poetry. And and so they're all kind of like hanging out in the 70s down in Soho, smoking cigarettes. And the director is saying that everyone has done Richard III the same way forever. But the thing is that Richard, of course, was a flaming homosexual.
And then Richard Dreyfuss immediately is like,
yeah, Richard was like, what? And he's like, one of Richard's main motivations is he wants to bang Lady Anne.
what is he saying?
And the director...
he wants to hump Lady Anne.
Yeah, but basically the director's like, we could do it the way everyone's always done, or we could be, visionaries and whatever. So he says, all right, let's start the reading. He just tries real quick. He's like, now is the winter of our discontent. Okay, can I have 5 minutes, please? He's like,
5 minutes.
He's absolutely flustered. Like, how is he going to play this role as a flaming homosexual? It is so funny.
He wants to do like the tried and true Shakespeare, like heavy.
And I'm not
drama.
a Shakespeare person. I actually I have a friend who's like a really, really well established and exceptional classical actor. He loves Shakespeare, knows kind of everything there is to know about it. And I meant to ask him if there's any credence at all, because I've never been
being gay.
Yeah, because or a flaming homosexual, because I've never. I mean, I've read. I've not. I'm always more interested in like contemporary plays, so I never like delved into the Shakespeare.
I don't
world.
remember. My impulse is to say there's something, but I think it's one of those things where I have no idea.
I meant to ask. I
just love that opening monologue.
It's so funny. So yeah. Then later that night, Paul is doing sit-ups. Lucy's sitting on her feet. She's doing sit-ups, and she's like, "I've died. I've truly died."
Get your mother a Coke. Fattening.
Yeah.
Get her a Coke. Mommy doesn't want to strangle you. Something like that.
And then Elliot brings a girl home from the play, and Marsha's furious. So Apollo goes and bangs on the door, and he answers. And
is that a girl in there? I love that.
Like, I hope so.
I certainly hope so.
And so he says they're rehearsing, and she's like, "None of this funny business going on in there, or whatever." And he says, "Oh, what do you think? You think Lucy probably got a bad impression from you living with Tony?" He kind of puts Paul in her place.
Yeah.
And again, he reminds her, "I'm the one. This is my
live
apartment,
here.
and you're staying here out of the goodness of my heart."
Yeah.
So Paula has a brief heart-to-heart with Lucy. And I also love at this point that it's not explained like who Lucy's dad is yet. Because she refers to him as Tony, and it's clearly not her dad.
They reference Bobby, her ex-husband, but
briefly somewhere, but I don't even think they've mentioned that.
They mention
yet.
it later when she's talking about
her
father.
Then they're in. So that's all. That all happens, and then and that scene ends. You hear the guitar from the other room. And Lucy goes, "Is that song from Richard III?"
Go to sleep.
Go to sleep. So then she's back in dance class, and this is where Paula's friend says maybe can get them a job at an auto show. Cuts to the Richard III rehearsal, and Ellie is really hamming it up. He started doing this thing where he's like, "Hello." He's got this like weird arm thing that he's doing. He comes in and he's like, "Sirs, good sirs, where are the?" And he's doing this ridiculous ridiculous lisp and everything. But what's so funny about this is a little detail that I noticed before, because now that I've worked in theater and stuff, it never occurred to me. He comes in and the scene's going on, but it's shot like from this way, and the scene's going on, and the director is not watching the play. He's facing away from the play.
He's listening.
He's like, and I think it's so funny because he's listening. It's such a funny idea that he's just listening to the play. He won't even look at it because it's part of his artistic process. It's so funny to me, especially because it's early in the rehearsals. It doesn't make any sense. So I love that.
And then
he
freaks out.
He freaks out and he storms out.
I am making a horse of asses of myself.
Yes. He's telling the director this is a stupid idea, and he storms outside, and he's furious and he's terrified that the critics are going to kill him. He doesn't want to look bad. And the director's like, "I won't let you look bad." He's like, "Now you're getting what I'm going for. We had to go here." And he's like, oh, good. He's like, "You can have the hump now, and you can have the club foot, and you can have those now. I just wanted us to go there." And so Elliot's like, "Oh, good. Okay, we can continue now." And he gets him to go back into the rehearsal. So then they run into each other later at a market.
haven't I met you in my apartment?
Yeah, that's
Or
right.
something
Haven't I met you in my apartment? She's still like very cold to him and everything. But they agree they're going to split groceries basically, and they're going to lady products for the ladies and men, whatever.
Male and female doodads.
Male and female doodads. That's right. Male and female doodads. They'll separate. But everything else they'll go halvesies on essentially. And they're starting to get along. They're having fun walking the street. He goes in to get a bottle of wine. And this is like very shocking scene that happens out of nowhere where it's inside and he's talking to the guy, he's talking to the wine seller, and the camera like zooms in on her, she's standing outside waiting for him, and this car pulls up, the two guys get out, and they like violently push her and grab her bag and then run out to the car, and it's like really shocking.
Aggressively mugged right outside the store.
I completely forgot that happened.
They stole my bag!
And she is freaked out. And then he runs out and he's like, what are you doing? She's like, go after them. And he's like, what? In a car? In a speeding car? And then she's like furious at him. She's like, this wouldn't have happened if you weren't getting wine. You and your Chianti. Or whatever. She's so furious.
And he's like, God, I'm trying to get my freaking bullet through between my eyes. He like runs after them.
Well, yeah, so they're walking along. Then she sees the car again. She's like,
right.
"That's the car!" And basically forces him to run after the car. And they're both running after the car. She falls down. He runs, and he goes and like it's this crazy sequence where he goes up to the guys and he's like, "I'm not afraid of you. I'm not afraid of you." And then three guys get out of the car. One pulls a knife on him.
Yeah.
It's just nuts. And then eventually they get back in the car. They drive away. He comes back to help her get her groceries. She's furious. She left her spaghetti spilled in the street. And she's like, she'll suddenly pick the spaghetti up and put it back in the box. And she's furious. And she just blames him completely for it. And it's like, you're an actor. And she's mad that he's an actor still. And
I don't think they robbed you because I'm an actor.
Yeah. It's such a bizarre sequence, but obviously they have to have this trauma together to like bond in some way. But then they're all having dinner together, and Lucy is like loving him. They're talking about his acting career and all the things he's played, and he has this really crazy line that I am not a fan of. He's talking about actors, and he's like, actors,
it's awful.
His lips. Talk about an actor.
Cringe.
His lips are his brushes, his tongue, the colors of the spectrum, and when he speaks, he paints portraits.
Oh, it's
Like,
awful.
no,
Classy.
not a fan.
You're classy. It's
No,
awful.
you're classy. Yeah, not a
She's
fan
got like
of that.
spaghetti all over her mouth.
Yeah, all of it. It's so gross too.
It's weird
yeah.
because she's not young enough to have spaghetti all over her face.
Having an 11-year-old like that's a little too old for spaghetti all over the face.
Yeah.
But then again, she's had some rough parenting.
She has.
Lucy thinks he's great. She wants to go to the opening of the play, and then she says he's got charisma. Is that where she says about the friend who's got charisma?
I don't remember.
But whatever. He says.
Don't I chariz you?
Wasn't
No,
Tony? Tony had that. She's like, oh no, Tony was just sexy.
I love, and she tells him he's not sexy, and he's like, "What do you know? You're 11. Like in some years,
In a few years, I'm gonna be driving you up the wall,
I'm driving you out of your bird."
Yeah. Meanwhile, Paul is quiet throughout all of this,
Yeah.
and then
Oh, I love this.
she's kind of upset. She sends Lucy to bed. What do you love?
She asks him for money.
She asks him for
$50.
They'll switch bedrooms. He'll give her the big bedroom for $50 extra. He's like, "You mean the bedroom I pay for?" And then she says, "Okay, fine. Well, you loan me $50, and then I'll pay you back. I will do your laundry. I will do this. I will do that." And he says, "No, I'll tell you what. I'll give you the money I have, which is like $48 or something like that, until you get a job. And I won't. And I'll even do my own laundry." She says, "Well, what do you get?" He goes, "All you got to do is be nice to me."
And she flips out.
And she goes, "You could just go to hell." And it's like, it's funny because I remembered that like what she was talking about.
Yeah.
But there's no moment where he's like, "What's going on?" Like he does the math instantly where he's like, she thinks he's saying like, "You'll do me sexual favors," essentially.
You
didn't think that? That's what it's about.
No, I didn't think that. No. I didn't think that. I think he genuinely
think?
was like, stop being an asshole. I think he genuinely.
No.
I don't think so. I don't think he wanted that from her. I really don't.
No, he didn't want it. She thought he wanted that.
It was either that or she was kind of like. I think, and I mean this as a person who has a lot of attitude. When someone's like, "Just be nice to me" or "Just relax," I'm like if someone was like, I'll lend you the money, but could you just like try to be calmer and nicer?" I'd be like, "Keep your money. Like, forget it. Like, I feel like I felt...
No. But he comes over to her and he goes, and he has this whole thing about, he's like, what do you think? He's like, what do you think? You got a great body. You're not even that attractive. I'm not attracted to you. Your body's not even that great. You know what? And he does this whole thing. He's like, oh, you think I just wait to jump your bones? Like, it's this,
okay.
He says this
I
whole
guess you're
thing.
right. Maybe she did think that.
So, you wrong.
I want a mozzarella stick.
You wrong.
Can I have a mozzarella stick?
You brought the... You want to eat a cold mozzarella stick?
I'm hungry now. They're just sitting there. You can't...
Oh, my gosh. You're going to chew. But you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just cut off your audio for this because this is disgusting. Try to chew with your mouth closed while you're on camera. Why don't you? Give it a shot. No one needs to see what's in there. Here's another PSA. Hey, everybody. When you're eating food, keep that mouth closed. We don't need to see what's going on in there. It no good.
With the food.
What is that?
Flight of the Conchords.
Oh, Flight of the Conchords. That's right. Oh, I love the Flight of the Conchords so much. Yeah. Keep that mouth closed, folks. No one needs to know what's up in there. You ever say you need the sausages made? We don't want to see the sausages made. We surely don't want to see how it's deconstructed. Thanks so much. Ew. Yeah, this. Why do you have to? It's not, you don't have, you just, are you incapable? You don't have to do this. Although it'd be a funny dinner party. People take a bite and everyone just does this.
My mouth is closed.
I prefer that to people like, so gross, don't
Okay,
get
we're
it.
done. Jesus, it was one mozzarella stick.
Oh.
I brought them for you. I was trying to be nice. Okay, continue. Where are we?
So no, yeah,
She's furious with him.
She thought he meant sexual favors.
And
He's
women don't
like,
want to be set in their place.
I'm not attracted to you. Whatever. And then, so he has a great speech here, though, about all, and this is the moment for her. He has a great speech about calling her out on all of her crap. And then he says, he says, the best thing about you is Lucy. Lucy's worth putting up with you for. He's totally done with her. And he's talking about how damaged she is and no one cares. Everybody's been dumped on. Get over it. Blah, 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 blah. And then there's a nice push in on Paul after he storms out. And this is her best moment in the movie.
Really?
Yes. Because she says nothing. He kind of unloads on her. He's 100% right about all of it.
Yeah.
And you see her realize it for the first time.
Yeah.
And she doesn't cry. She's trying not to cry. But the push-ins, I mean, it's like 20 seconds or so. The first half of it, she's just like kind of like in shock. And then she starts, like you could see it welling up. And it's like, this moment I totally believe. And I think it's her best moment in the movie. She's really, really, really good there.
I think the reason I like her, or I don't see what you see is, listen, in a lot of way, I really relate to that because I'm very tough. I can be very icy. When I decide something's not going my way, I will shut someone out and I will shut them out hard. And I'll be honest, like, this is not the first relationship I've had where I'm like, I have no redeeming qualities. Like, I get it. And I've been put in my place a few times.
Oh, so you're saying she's like, thinking that? You're saying I have no redeeming qualities.
I think you have a reality. I've had such a similar conversation and someone's like, listen, I understand what you're going through. You don't need to take it out on me. And they shut it down and you're like,
true.
You got nothing to say.
I mean, absolutely.
Like,
and you know, I mean, I think that, and maybe, I'm sorry to say it, but I think I might see it with a different actress more than I see it with her.
No, I get it, but I also think she is obnoxious enough that I'm like, she's me.
So, but I love that moment for her. I see there's a depth there, and you see it that gives her, and I think that's the one. It's the one reason I won't fully out. I'd be like, she's not good. It's because like it's a tough character, and it's maybe not quite fleshed out as best as it could be, which I'm shocked.
And she's a single mom, husband. You know, she's working
and
barely.
She's been dumped on. Like, I get it.
She's got nothing. She's freaked out.
So then the next thing, they're in the rehearsal room, and he's panicked that his career is. Oh no, I'm sorry. The Richard III rehearsal, and that's where he's doing the he's doing this whole thing, and that's the director's like, good. So it's just a little snippet. It's a ridiculous
thing.
The
best one, and then it cuts immediately to the scene in his bedroom.
And then he's in his bedroom. He's got a pillow in his thing, and he's got the hump, and he's practicing the role, and he's doing all this kind of stuff. He's the most manic in this scene.
Yes.
And she comes in, and
calm and kind.
She's totally like different from the last time you saw her. She's dressed very well. She's She's calm. She came to get. She's like, "Oh, am I interrupting?" He's like, "Yes, you're interrupting." And she's like, "Oh, I just came to give you your money back. I got a job." And so she's cool, and he's like, "Yeah, whatever." And he's like, "My career's gonna be over. Hasn't even started yet." And he's totally going nuts. And then she says, and nothing grabs her attention. He doesn't care she's employed. He doesn't care about any of this kind of stuff. And then finally she says, "Do you have any bicarbonate? Because Lucy's sick." And then he stops.
Yeah.
And he's like, "What's wrong with her?"
Yeah.
And she says,
two double chocolate sundaes. Oh, incredible! You're incredible.
And of course, as the health nut who never puts anything bad in his body, "Oh, you're incredible! You're incredible!" I can't believe they don't sell insurance to kids. And then so he grabs his guitar and starts to head out. She goes, "Is that bicarbonate?" He goes, "Don't start with me." It's so good. I love that. I love that live. I completely forgot that's what it's from. I know I said this before, but I'm saying it again. So he comes into the room and he comes to care for her. He's coaching her deep breaths. Yeah. He very strangely starts rubbing her stomach in a very intimate manner. I'm just kidding.
He says, "Don't you trust me?" Which is also kind of creepy.
It's a little strange. But there are a couple of real creep moments in this, and the one is the other is the horse carriage is super creepy. But I will explain why. But he's rubbing the stomach, and he's like, "Can you do this?" And Paula's like, "I think I can manage it." She rubs the stomach, and he starts playing guitar for her.
See, if he was pervy, he wouldn't ask her to do it.
Deep breaths and deep breaths. And then she eventually falls asleep, and then it pans over to Paula, who does this whole apology, which I don't buy.
No, it's a little cheesy.
"I'm sorry about last night." It's very stiff and weird. And then of course, because it's panned over, you hear the guitar music stop, and he's passed out too, even though this is their most vulnerable she's been. "Mr. Garfield, you can't sleep with my daughter." He's just passed out in the bed, and the daughter's passed out, and then they're at the opening. They go to the opening of the play.
The music.
The light. I really actually do like the lighting of this, which is all in silhouette and backlit. I kind of love the beginning, not showing him giving half the speech.
Oh.
Anyway, but
Now
you see him. He's got like these weird high heels and
they're
his
awful.
Makeup and this weird kind of skirt type thing. It's
like
just
this pink cloak, which is
just
like,
an insane outfit. And he's like, "Now is the winter of our discontent."
And he's got the floral crown on.
It's just
like
crazy accent. I know, it's this crazy affectation that he's doing. And they're immediately, everyone, and you can see the audience is like, "Oh, geez." And everyone's super confused, and there's time lapses, and Lucy's asleep, and Paula's exhausted. And you see people like leaving. And this was so painful for me to watch, because I have been on stage where it's like, I've never seen people leave, but this is done in the thrust.
That's the lucky thing, is usually when the lights are up, you can't see anything.
As John Stewart says, "Meet me at camera 2. Thrust stage is a stage, not like a proscenium stage is a classic theater where the proscenium is like this and the audience is out here, clearly separated by a line. A thrust stage is where the stage thrusts out into the audience and the audience covers 3 sides of the stage." So it's in a thrust, and he's and you see like people on like all around him start to get up and leave, and it's like, he sees that, and it is so painful for me to watch that scene.
Like,
oh my gosh!
Even, I don't know. See, I've been on like 1 stage, no, 2 stages in Harrington. Like, I couldn't see anybody. The lights
You're on
were
the stage of life.
Oh God. Anyway, yes, it is painful, and
so painful.
People hate it.
So
My
brutal.
mother loved it.
Oh gosh, that's so great. It is so they're all watching this. Oh, that's right. And then at one point he pinches the butt of another male character.
Oh, he's got no pants on. He's got like
He's got no pants on. It's like, "Hello, sir," whatever his name is.
Lavon.
And then at the end, it's like
awkward.
Most people are gone. It ends. There's a little bit of applause, and one woman is like, "Bravo!" It's so funny. And then it's backstage.
She's
and
the
people,
one that pays for it. Like, she's the financial,
the producer is
the
probably
backing
producer.
or
Yeah. So it's because the backstage and the director's cornered this woman, and he's like, "Okay, but did you really love it? Did you really, really love it?" She goes,
No.
It was interesting. He goes,
It was. No, you did it wrong.
"Oh God,
It was very interesting."
oh God, she loved it. Everybody, my mother loved it."
And he's like running around and hitting people and like, Paula's like, "Oh
He's
God."
so excited that his mom loved it.
And she hated it.
So Oh, I know. Clearly,
was
she hated
very
it.
interesting.
It's so fun. It's such a great cherry on top of how ridiculous that character is. It's wonderful. And then they're walking back. She's like, I want to. And they're going to say hi to Elliot, and Paul is like, I'm not sure. I'm sure he wants to be alone right now. Lucy's like, no, we can't. If we lose, he'll know it was lousy. She's like, well, let's just be tactful. What's tactful? Lie. And they walk back and they pull this curtain aside, and they're like, hi, Mr. Garfield. And he's just there, and I love this moment for him too. I think this is partly what won him the Oscar.
Looks dead
honestly,
inside.
He looks so dead inside. He like looks at them. His makeup's sort of smeared. He's exhausted. He's sweaty. His beard has been shaven to look a little cleaner. He looks like hell, and he really, it's so heartbreaking. Just his expression. They're all like, "Well, we thought you were wonderful and good job," and they have a few sentences they say, and he just stares at them.
Yeah, just so humiliated.
And then they leave, and he's just broken, and it's so horrible.
And then one of the greatest scenes of the movie when he comes home,
he shows up drunk in the middle of the night.
Oh, it's so good.
And which is because he's been saying the whole movie he treats his body like a temple, so he is absolutely wasted. All the reviews have come out. He pulls the reviews out of his pocket. He leans out the window, and he's like, Elliot Garfield researched Richard III and found him to be England's first badly dressed interior decorator. And he's hanging out the window. She pulls him back in.
Oh my God, he's breaking stuff and
breaking things, falling all over the place. He's crashing around.
Oh my God, it is great. I don't remember a ton of those.
No, I don't know. He reads the reviews. Everyone hated it. They all say it's terrible.
It finally collapses into bed, and he's like, I could play the pants off that guy. And he does the monologue. And
he starts to do the speech.
That is good.
I know.
You are good.
You are great.
Oh, wait, that's before he's like, say, it was putrid.
Oh, yeah.
I'll smash this $10 lamp out of pieces. Yes, it was putrid. He didn't have to be so blunt about it.
That's such a great line. And it's a great callback a few lines later when he's saying, he's like, yeah, just tell me it was bad. He says all that. And finally he's like, I could play the pants off that. He starts doing the speech. And she's like, that is really great. And then he says something, I can't remember what he says about how it comes up, but he goes, it's like, I'll be fine. I can be fine. I'm confident in myself. But that putrid remark really hurt.
It really got to me.
Really got to me.
I'm sorry.
I didn't know what I was thinking. She goes, don't walk out on me. Once a night is enough.
Yeah,
and that's right before that line. Which is kind of lovely. And then he's leaving. He says, don't tell Lucy about the Times or the channel 3, 5, 6, or 7. And this last line is, no autographs, please. And then he rolls over and starts doing the speech again.
I don't know why I can't remember that whole scene because it is hysterical and like when he's
it's
like,
just so fast.
I thought you didn't put unhealthy things into your body, and he's like, I was putting him in Richard, trying to kill this bastard.
Trying to kill him. Yeah, it's because there's so much. It's great writing and a really funny interaction. And then in the morning, Lucy's reading the paper in the morning, and he's completely hungover and a total mess. And at one point, and Paula goes to make him coffee, and at one point Lucy's standing there with a review staring at him, and she just goes, congratulations. He has this great look of like, for what? And she goes, I didn't know what else to say. Which is very funny, but honestly, the way she delivers that line, it packs like a huge punch. Like it means so much more.
Yeah.
The way, because she just has this thing where she's, I didn't know what else to say. And it's like this kind of...
It's like an on...
there's an up inflection because you could easily be like, I didn't know what else to say. And then you could walk away.
Didn't know what else to say.
But she really is like lost for words.
Yeah.
And coming from a 9-year-old with that delivery, it's like powerful.
It is. Which one of you scotch taped my tongue to the roof of my mouth?
Then he gets a call almost immediately. The play's canceled, so he's starting to look for work.
I love that he gets a job as a bouncer at a strip club.
Yeah.
And remember when you did the Batman quote? And that's what I thought that scene was from.
You wouldn't hit a guy with glasses.
When he gets up on the stage, and I don't even know if he said that, but it says, I'm like, you don't want to see a little punk or a little dweeb get his face punched in, do you? I think that's what it was.
Interesting.
That's what I thought it was from.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
They have this one, Marsha Mason, they have this great little moment here before where she's because I'd like to go in order, not jump ahead.
I'm so sorry.
So anyway, she goes, wait, why don't you wait downstairs because they're going to school? And she goes, why? She goes, because I'm the mother. And she goes, oh. And it's a really cute little moment. And then basically Paula says, if you're unemployed, I will pay you to be Lucy's caretaker, essentially. And it's a very cute little witty banter and everything as she leaves, and they're flirty. And he goes, cute. Definitely cute. Which I wish I had seen before, because that would be such a good quote game one.
Cute. Definitely
cute. So then we see her at the auto show. She's explaining the Subaru whatever car.
The jumpsuit.
She's doing this.
It gives disco magic.
Disco magic vibes.
Disco magic.
And she's explaining this car. She sees Elliot and Lucy show up, and she completely loses her place and starts saying hilarious things like, the front window is clearly visible and designed for maximum visibility. She's completely and then he says, she's up, which is a reference to Meet Me at Camera 2. When an actor says they're up or she's up, it means they've forgotten their lines. She's gone up.
I didn't know that.
Now you do. Ding, 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 ding.
Wait, now you know? No. Oh, things we know.
So
now.
she's kind of flustered that they're there, and she also has the line, tires are optional and attractive. Which is really great.
Oh, and they're staring at her like, what?
Then the Subaru executives are like, what are they doing? They're so angry. But anyway, he's come to drop her off to her because he has to go to work, which is he got work as a bouncer at a strip club. Oh, but he has this great one before he leaves where the Subaru executives are super mad because she was kind of messed it all up and was saying crazy things like that. And he goes and finds them right before he leaves. He goes, hey. He's like, that woman over there, she's really great. Like, I own a taxi cab company. I'm thinking about replacing my entire fleet with Subarus next year. Really, I'd like to come back at the end of the week and talk to you. But really, you got to keep her on. Like, oh, thank you.
Yeah. And she's like,
and she's completely enamored of that, obviously, in his craziness. So he didn't get a job as a bouncer, by the way. He's just handing out flyers in the strip club. So he's passing out flyers. You see this strip club thing going on. This drunk guy gets up on stage and starts trying to molest the girls, and a bouncer runs out finally enough to get him, and he's like, you gotta get inside right now. There's a drunk on stage.
Oh, so good.
And basically he's not gonna get paid unless he goes and takes care of this drunk. So he gets up on stage and he starts kind of doing some funny banter with him. He's trying to kill him with comedy. And eventually he asked the guy's name. He's like, what's your name? He's like, Earl.
Well, Earl what?
Earl, what does he say? This?
Earl, this!
And he punches him in the face. And then everyone... that's what he says. He's like, oh, don't hit me. Hey, you don't want to see a dweeb get hit with glasses, do you? And everyone's like, yay! Like, oh, it's a tough crowd. And then he gets punched. He falls down, and everyone stands up and applauds. He goes, my first standing ovation. Back of the house... That's when Lucy says that her friend from school says that Elliot's got charisma. And Paul is like, don't stop right now. Don't try to get us together, which is really funny that the daughter's trying to match make.
Oh, you know what? Wait. You missed the part when he comes in, because I love that when she's putting on the makeup.
No,
not yet?
No, they're having this conversation. Oh, this is why I was saying
sure?
I take notes in order. So anyway... Yeah, so Lucy's trying to get her to get together with him, and as that happens, Elliot comes in, and he's got like something. Oh, gross! Oh, please don't chew with your mouth open. My gosh, you're disgusting. You're like an animal. Ugh, like a beast in the wild.
Just keep talking.
No, Elliot comes home. He's got this steak or something on his eye. She's got her eye mask or...
What? You missed my part with Lucy.
What is the part with Lucy?
Getting ready in the bedroom with Lucy, putting the stuff on. Lucy's got her pearls and her dress on. She's doing her makeup.
And she's telling her about the charisma thing. And she's like, stop. What? You don't believe me?
I was listening to you.
Oh,
go on.
She's like, stop trying to get us together. And she's like, I'm not. And she's like, your fingerprints are all up my back. And she said something like, he grates on me. He's not my type. And then Lucy's like, your type.
Oh, right. That's right.
Type. And she goes, I heard that. What did you say?
Yeah, I heard that. What did you say?
You heard me. Why are you asking? She's like, what did you say? And she goes, your type never hangs around long enough to stay your type.
No, it's so mean.
She's like, that is so rotten thing to say. Sometimes I can be so goddamn furious with you. And she like, what is she like? Puts the lipstick on her face. That was a stinky thing to do.
Yeah, yeah.
So angry.
Then Elliot comes in. He's got the meat on his eye. He's got punched, and he's super flirty. And they get all flirty, and he's starting to chase her around the apartment. A little bit maybe inappropriate.
Down the street.
Inappropriate behavior, but chasing her around the apartment. But she seems to be so enjoying it, though she says no. No means no, but still, I don't know. She kind of gives in. He's kissing her, and he's all like, he's very charming. And he finally says, "Meet me in the kitchen tomorrow night and dress casual." And then he jumps up at the door, wow, and dresses and acts like a monkey, which is bizarre.
That's why you got your kabuki makeup on.
Oh yeah,
because she's got the face cream.
She's got the face cream on. Oh, and you let me. So that's where she goes.
She washes it off, and then he
kisses
kisses
her. Wash
her
face. Give me the towel, and then he kisses her, and all this stuff,
yeah.
and it's very cute, but also inappropriate. But it's cute. Then the next night, she races home from work. She says to see Lucy, but she clearly wants to see him. Mm-hmm. She comes in the door, and there's this sign that says, "See note on sleeping child." She goes in. Lucy's asleep. Says, "This is a sleeping child. Meet me on the roof. Dress formal."
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she goes right up to the roof.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is dumb. She's like, "Elliot, I don't like this," because he doesn't pop out right away. And then he pops out in a rented tux.
Yeah.
And he's doing it.
He's dressed like Bogart.
Bogart. And he's like, "I said formal, kid."
He lights a cigarette. He's dressed like Bogey, and he's set this whole romantic rooftop party with lights and music and a dinner.
Sinatra song.
And there's also
the
this
potato chip song.
Yeah. So it's he's singing "How About You" from Sinatra, and there's this great shot of them dancing.
I like potato chips, moonlight, and motor trips. How about you?
So he's singing that, and there's a shot of them dancing, and it's a wide shot, maybe some trickery, where they're dancing in this, and you see they're on the rooftop, and the cars going by in the New York Avenue below, and it's just something about that where I watched, I was like, oh, and it captured a feeling of New York for me.
Yeah.
There's something about New York where things like that happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's just
because it's like this
really
big, fast-moving
moment.
city, and then you have these two little people having this little moment, and it's nice.
It's beautiful. And so she's a sucker for romance. She's completely swept up. It starts raining. They bring everything inside, and they're having this dinner right inside the open door to the roof. And we get he says he actually got a job at an improv place. He said they saw you do Richard the Third. If you could do that, you could do anything. And so he's going to do this improv thing. It rains. They go inside. They're inside. She gets we finally get some backstory in her life, which is Lucy's father was also an actor who left. And then Tony was an actor who left. And she was always into macho men. She met Tony because she thought he was really attractive and macho in, I think, Iceman Cometh it was. And she went and waited around the stage door to meet him because she's like, after, a lot of basically she's saying, you're a dancer and like a lot of the dancers are gay. You kind of, you look for a macho man kind of a thing. She's like, I'm glad I'm done with that phase. And he's like, oh, I'll let that pass. And this scene made me like, there's a real simplicity and kind of innocence to this movie. Like there's nothing cynical, even though she's been dumped twice, like completely. It doesn't come across as cynical in a way. There's kind of a heightened reality to this whole thing.
You said you think it is. She is really like, though.
I know.
Well, she's willing to try again. I mean, there's that.
I think part of what it is that actually allows this movie to be above it is that she's not particularly believable, I think, in a lot of it. And I think that's not necessarily a bad thing. That's why I'm kind of like, maybe she does a great job. I don't know. But it's like, this movie, like, I feel like movies now, especially when they're either super cheesy rom-coms where it's like completely unrealistic,
right,
or it's like gritty. Everything's just gritty and like real. And this Neil Simon especially always threads this needle of like kind of both. And I think Nora Ephron does this too.
I love her.
And she's very much, I think, in the ilk of Neil Simon, but I think, I don't know, different point of view. But it's interesting. And I think when the 80s came along, rom-coms became like real glossy and like completely bizarre and wildly unbelievable at that. But I mean, like this one has remnants of a believability, but it's, I don't know, you feel like you can just enjoy it, I guess, because there's nothing too real about it. You know what I mean? There are a couple of great moments like when he's broken after the show and,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lost you there.
Yeah,
Whenever I talk about things that
real
are like
smart
meaningful
things, like intellectual or
like
existential,
the
whatever.
movies, you're always like, "Dad, hey, but I do. Hey, but I do. Yeah.
Skank.
Did you call me a skank?
No.
What?
Yes.
Ew.
I know. You can cut that out.
Anyway.
Anyway.
So in the morning, he's very chipper. She said, yes, just, are we going to sleep together tonight? He's like, boy, of all the upfront girls I know, you're the upfrontedest or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's chipper in the morning, and Lucy and Paula are not speaking. There's a super weird vibe. And she's now having second guessing all of this because...
Oh, I love the line he has at the end of the scene. So great.
Oh, they get upset. They basically get in a fight, and she's like, you should just pack your things and go. And she storms out of the house, and he crawls out in the fire escape, and he's yelling at her. And they're having
Crackers, lady. Animal
I
crackers.
know why those guys left. Crackers. You got a severe case of emotional retardation.
I'm not leaving, Paula. I'm escaping.
Yeah.
I will personally forward your mail.
Yeah, so they're yelling at each other, and people are gathering in the streets watching. And you want to lower your neurosis for a minute? I love that line. So he gets down, he goes out of the fire escape, and then he like drags her back into the place.
Pretty aggressive.
Like,
It's actually kind of violent the way he drags her back.
It's kind of violent.
It is.
And there's people just watching, and you're like, this is the 70s, I guess.
Like
this.
if that happened today, people would be like, "Excuse me, sir."
It's very of the times. Where you're like,
Yeah.
I mean, one would hope, right?
Yeah.
Because it's like he like really essentially they're yelling at each other, having an argument. He like drags her back into the apartment.
Yeah, it's a little bit much.
And then he drags her upstairs. She's kind of fighting him sort of all the way, and then finally he's like, maybe if you would realize,
if you hadn't been such a horse's ass, he's like, you would have realized that we could have been touching and fondling all morning. Personally, madam, I think you blew it.
And then he goes back in, and it stays on her for a second. And then eventually she goes in, and he's waiting there, and they're going to go in the bedroom. And it's like, it's a little like, oh, that's a very, a man wrote that scene.
Yeah.
Man wrote this movie. And then, I first like, this is very creepy. So then after that, Elliot picks Lucy up from school, and he's got in a horse and carriage. And he's like, my lady, come. And it's this whole grand show, and he gets her in the horse and carriage. And
Cynthia Fine?
oh, yeah, the girl who said, her friend who had said he had
was
charisma. She's like, I think you have charisma too. She's like, I never said that. Lucy, I'm going to get you. It's kind of cute. So they're riding in the carriage, and Lucy's not speaking to him. And this is the scene where I was like, this is another weird scene.
Why, when he tickles her? Is that weird?
No. It's like he wants the scenes about he wants her approval. He's like, listen, I care about what you think, and I'm crazy about you, and I want your approval because your mom and I we're switching bedrooms tonight. So like, I am now with your mom, and I'm crazy about her, but I'm not, do you like this? He starts going, do you like me? And she like won't answer. He's like, do you like me? And and she won't answer. And then he gets like really aggressive. And he's like, listen, kid. He's like, I don't care. You gotta tell me right now. Do you like me? And it's so weird having like an adult man like angrily yell at a child like, do you like me?
Yeah, that's
and she
creepy.
finally goes, yes,
yes, all right.
No, she goes, no. And then he kind of like stops, and she goes, yes, all right. And it's so like emotionally abusive. The scene. Watching it with like, I guess, more modern woke eyes. It's pretty abusive scene, and you're like, I don't know.
You
creepy.
shouldn't put those feelings onto a young child. That's not right. That is emotional abuse.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
It's emotional
That's
abuse
why
today. Back then, it was like funny.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Is like it's watching it. It's like it's super creepy because he really is like he basically bullies her. He knows that she likes him, but still he bullies her into basically be like, yes, I like you. And then he tickles her. Everything's fine. It's like, well, it's very weird.
They cry on the horsey.
Yeah, they go cry on the horsey. Makes her laugh, but it's like it's very like it's a little creepy and not great. Then they're Elliot and Paula are in sort of bed together, and they're talking up. They're sort of like dreaming together. She's going to repaint the place. And she wants to do this to the place, and he's talking about the improv treatment, all this kind of stuff. And finally, she says, "I want to repaint the place." He goes, "What color do you want?" And he goes, "Successful." And then there's the next day or whatever. There's a painter sequence,
cheesy montage,
and the greatest synth music out of nowhere shows up. It is The whole rest of the movie is da 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 da, and then there's like a beep, 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 beep. This crazy synth music.
Terrible.
It's like Dave Grusin's like, oh, I got a new synth. I got a beep 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 beep. Doesn't make any sense of the whole movie. It's so weird.
Terrible.
And it's this montage of her redecorating the apartment, which clearly every time she has a new relationship, she clearly reinvents herself in the apartment.
She's smart.
She's not well
That's
in
why
the
I
mind.
died. Why is that? She's well. She's fine.
No, she's
you gotta
not.
have change. You
gotta
gotta change things up.
Yeah, but this is the third time that she's done this, and she's repeating. Okay.
How do you know? She ripped a poster off the wall. That's the other time.
Bobby,
What about it?
the first guy. I guarantee you the same thing happened.
What's wrong with redecorating after you move?
I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, like, there's
Or
not
you
a
move on.
most mentally well person,
I don't think that's true. I think she's taken strides. All right, I got a fresh start.
Okay. Fair enough.
There you go. Move on.
I'm just saying, this guy just,
Why don't you call her hysterical?
dragged her back into the apartment and also bullied her daughter into saying he likes him. So I'm just saying, that's not the healthiest part. So anyway, he says at the end of this very charming sequence, he says he's leaving to go somewhere, and she says, hey, I'm crazy about you. And he says, leave Tuesday morning open. She says, why? And he goes, how'd a blood test strike you?
Then that horrible scream. I had to ask Mom what
cute.
that meant. I was like, what does that mean? She's like, oh, but she say, you don't have to get a blood test anymore.
No, it
Back
used
in the
to be.
day,
You used
she
to
was
have
like,
to
you
have
had
a
to
blood
get a
test
blood test
before you
to
got
get
married.
married. And she was very
And so
excited.
he says that, and she kind of like stares, and she slowly goes back to the apartment. The door closes, and then you hear her go, "Wah!" She screams.
I'm very happy. That's cute.
So then after the improv show, this very, very famous director is sort of fashioned after Mike Nichols, I believe, approaches Elliot and asks, and it's such a creepy and gross Hollywood producer scene. Like, are you interested in a movie? Because doing one with you? He goes, well, we could do one, or we could go see a movie, but I think working on one's a lot more fun. It's really weird and creepy. Basically, he gets offered a film from this super famous director, and he's obviously like, yes. And then it cuts to the next day. Lucy's outside the apartment looking very dejected. Paula walks up all happy, very much mirroring the beginning of the movie when they walked up all happy. And she's buying all the stuff for the apartment. And Lucy, she said, what's wrong? And Lucy says, at least we didn't get a letter this time. And this is my other favorite actor moment of Marsha Mason's. She walks up. She kind of knows what this means. She walks in the apartment. She walks in. She takes a few steps and then stops. And she just goes... And she has this moment where she takes a breath because she knows what's about to happen. And she doesn't make a big deal out of it. She's very simple. And when she did that I was like, oh, my heart broke for her.
And then he said, I got a picture. And she goes,
and then she and she slowly walks in. She says something about like, I hope you're putting those clothes in for dry cleaning or whatever. He goes, I got a picture, Paul. I got a movie. She turns on the frame and he follows her. He's just so excited and everything. And then, of course, there's this whole discussion of like, oh, you think you're getting dumped on again? You're not getting dumped on. I'm coming back. And she's this time like, sure, that's basically that's what they all say. And she's sort of keeping her calm, and he's excited to go. And finally, he's getting revved up. He's like, why don't you see? He's like, I hate that those guys left. But I'm coming back. Oh, am I coming back? Finally, he goes, you know what? I'm not going. If you're uncomfortable with it, I'm not going. He plops down on the couch, opens a magazine. I won't go if you're not comfortable with it. And she goes, okay. He slams the paper.
I'm not going.
The hell I'm not going. I love that.
Freaking Oliver Fry.
It's so funny. It's such a great turn, and it's really, really funny. So the argument goes on, and finally she says, hey, I've grown, since I've been with you. Someone is walking out that door, and I'm not crumbling. Come back. I hope you do. I will be here, and I hope that works out. And he says, what is it about you that makes a man with 147 IQ a driveling idiot? She goes, I don't know, but I thank God for it. And there's thunder. She goes, you're welcome, God. It's just a great little Neil Simon moment.
Also, is Lucy out there in the rain?
Lucy, no, he's pissed, but he's gonna go, and he walks out, and she's there with her bike, Lucy. And this is the one moment which is weird. He just looks at her and goes, so long, kid. And then walks out. And it's like, you thought there'd be a little like, I'm coming back. Nothing, but
No, and especially since she says she doesn't like being called kid.
Yeah.
He knows that. And then he says it, and it's...
Yeah.
I don't...
But they wanted to leave it as a cliffhanger, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So it's later that night. It's a rainy night. There's a phone call. she picks up the phone, and it's him in the phone booth, my leaky phone booth on Amsterdam. He says, I want you to come with me. I cashed in my first class ticket for 2 economies. She goes, oh, you really want me to come? Well, what am I going to do with Lucy? She says, leave him with her mother.
Nana, which we've never heard.
I don't know. Some character we've never heard of. It was cut from the film, apparently. Leave her with Nana. You come with me. And then finally she's like, oh, it's okay. I don't have to. You just had to ask. And he's like, oh, you're driving me crazy.
It's like you.
She goes, do you really want me to come? He's like, you really love a love scene, don't you? I want you to come. And then finally, she says, well, you don't have to. Have a great shoot. I'm here. That's so wonderful. He goes, hey, do me a favor. She says, is there anything I can do for you here? He says, yeah, get my guitar restrung. And that's like the cherry on the sundae. She's like, oh, he left his guitar. He's coming back. And then they run to get the guitar. Yeah. And I do love this image that she runs out in the fire escape. It's pouring rain with the guitar. He's getting back in the cab. She's like, I love you. I got your guitar. And he's like, never. I love you so much. Never mind that. You're rusting my guitar. And it's this great. It is a great scene where she's hugging the guitar. And I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Like it never occurred to me. It was a really nice visual.
Yeah.
Her in the pouring rain hugging him, essentially.
Yeah.
And it's a really it's a great last bit. And then that cheesy song comes on.
Oh, your life you waited.
Oh, it's so cheesy.
For love to come and stay.
But it is
that song.
It's a great feel good movie. The performance, like his performance especially, is fantastic. The little girl is amazing also. And Marsha Mason has her moments. Tough character, I think, but like just really great. And again, just they don't write him like they used to. Neil Simon is the reason he's like a pretty singular voice in comedy and theater and stuff. He was a fantastic writer. I was also shocked, though, that, like I said, that it was nominated for everything and he won and it won the Golden Globes. Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I was really surprised. Also surprised it wasn't a play first. Shocked, I say.
Oh.
Shocked. Random quotes. Right. Random quote game, random quote game. Talking about the random quotes from movies that you know. Baby, you don't know them, but you probably do. They're random quotes from his movies that maybe you don't know from the movies that maybe you know. I think that explains it.
Can I go first?
Yep.
You don't get to tell me what to do ever again.
Oh, okay. For a second, I know this too, but I got crossed with Goonies. Ever again.
Oh, God.
But that's where my head went, but that was not it.
I got the cadence sort of,
but that's not it.
I can do it again.
You don't get to, shoot.
You don't get to tell me what to do ever again.
Yeah. Is it a mom that he's talking?
It is not a mom.
It's a woman.
Well, she's a mom, but it's not his mom.
She's a mom.
You don't get to tell me what to do ever again. It's a man.
What?
It's a man saying it.
Yeah, to
a woman.
His mother.
His wife.
Oh, his wife.
His wife.
Oh! It's American Beauty again.
What's the matter with doing them again?
No. I mean, I had that thought. I was like, no, she wouldn't do that one. So soon. Yes, ever. Okay, why is this? Because when he finds out is this at the drive-through?
Yeah.
Busted.
Lester, stop it. Oh, no. You don't get to tell me what to do ever again.
Yes.
It's so
love
good.
that. Love that. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Oh, it's so beautiful. That has to be one of the most beautiful films I have ever seen in my life.
I do remember one of the Oscars I've been most upset about losing was that Thomas Newman did not win for the soundtrack.
It's the most beautiful score. He didn't win for that?
No. Well, not only,
God,
you know what, and I remember what run, it was the Red Violin, which is so boring.
I've never heard anything like it.
It's so boring.
I've never heard anything like it.
That's exactly why. It's completely unique.
It's
unto itself. It's completely unique.
I love his work, and that's absolutely.
Well, he also did like Shawshank.
Yes.
He was the one who
and
really
he did
many.
Good Will Hunting.
But he was the one who built the whole kind of floating piano. Well, it's Danny Elfman.
It was Danny Elfman.
He's the one who brought the floating piano, like the kind of that like contemplative piano.
Oh, it's so
into the forefront. Now everyone does that and has been doing it since he started doing it. But he was the one who really pioneered that. Okay, no cadence first. Well, it's a stupid rule.
Well, it's a stupid rule.
Yes, yeah. Well, it's a stupid rule.
Oh, shoot. Darn it. I know exactly
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah,
Well, it's a stupid rule.
yeah, yeah.
Is it a child or adult?
Sort of. Not who's saying it. It's an adult saying it. But it's very accurate, apropos of the film.
Well, it's a stupid rule. It's not Clueless. No, you wouldn't know that.
Oh, I'm so glad that you did. I thought you would get this instantly. I'm
No.
glad. I'm also glad I didn't say you'll get this instantly.
Well, it's a stupid rule. Oh, I don't know. I might need a little.
Okay. He says right before that, try to play by his rules. I think he says that. Wait. Oh no, I tried to play his game.
Oh, big.
Yeah. Well, it's a stupid rule.
Yeah. Oh, yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right, your turn.
Ready? This is Don. This is Don.
Well, immediately I thought it was Marissa Tomei,
It's not.
but it's not.
This is Don. Do you want the hint?
Yeah.
He goes, take a picture. It'll last longer. This is Don.
Wait, who says take a picture?
The guy who's talking, like, it's someone he used to know, and he's talking about her, and he's like, which is something she said to him, and he was like, take a picture.
Oh.
This is Don.
And then she says this is Don?
This is before, like, they're talking to him, and then he's talking about her later, and he says that. But she's sitting there with the guy, and she...
Oh. He says it about
her later.
That
This is
she
Don.
said take a picture to him?
Yeah. This is a stupid quote. I don't know why I use this one. It just popped in my head.
This is Don.
This is Don.
Well, that's how you choose the quote. If it sticks in your head.
It's true. I hope
I
hope that's his name.
That one, like,
it'd be weird
it's
if his name was Bill.
it's a stupid rule. It's always stuck in my head the way she delivers that. you
Well,
know?
it's a
It's really
stupid
about like the
rule.
delivery that it sticks in your head. You know.
It is. Yeah.
This is Don.
I love when she
Take a picture. Last. Oh, I can see that for sure, but I can't picture the actor.
She's so creepy. She's so creepy, and you are so nice.
Oh my gosh! I recognize all of these.
It's probably one you haven't seen in a while.
I definitely haven't, but I know these are so familiar. She's so nice.
You were so nice.
Oh, you're gonna tell me this. I'm gonna be pissed.
I can tell you where they are.
Where are they?
In a diner. This is Don. I'm not sure his name's Don, which is the worst part.
Oh, it's Buffalo 66.
It is. This is Don.
I don't remember that. This is Don.
I hope his name's that. But they're sitting there, and he's like,
It's an X or something.
it was the girl, the picture of the girl he had hanging in his locker, and he's like, oh, it's an old girlfriend. And then she's like, then he used to ride by my. Did you live in my neighborhood? Because
That's
I always
right.
used to see you riding by my house.
Right.
He's like, I had a friend who
Take a
lived over
picture.
there. And
Oh
I would look
my
out the window, and he was
gosh.
always riding by my house.
Yes. Okay, that took a lot of help, but I
So
did get
sad.
there.
No, it's good.
How about this? Kids, you know I love them.
Kids, you know I love them. Beetlejuice.
Yes.
She's at a dinner party. Ha! Kids, you know I love them.
What's your last one?
You're going to get why I'm saying this. A 1 and a 2 and a 3.
Nightmare Before Christmas.
I know, but we just said it. So shoot. Can I get another one?
No, I'm going to give you my last one, which is a really fun one.
Oh, crap.
It's a really fun one. I hope you don't get it so I could do the cadence.
Oh.
Or should I just do the cadence?
I thought we were doing that from now on. All right, give me the challenge
well,
first.
I use the cadence in the
Then
thing.
do it. I don't know what you're saying right now. Just do it. Give it to me the way you think would be challenging, and then the way we would use it in real life. If you use it in real life,
Let's go find your father.
Let's go find your father. Oh, Hocus Pocus!
Yes.
But look.
Tubular. That's the one I was going to give
Tubular.
you. Oh,
One of my favorite.
That would
but
have been so funny.
that woman.
Tubular.
I don't remember her name, the actress. She's
Okay.
fantastic in the movie, and she has very little to do except in that scene. And her delivery of that
great.
line is just so memorable. Where the daughter
Darn it.
Thorbert shows up, and she's like, "The witches are back, and we cast the spell. How much candy did you have?" She's like, "I don't know. I'm telling you, it's real." And then she does this great shot where she turns around to the camera. She goes, "Okay, let's just go find your father."
I love that. And literally, I was like, I can't do this one. I'm going to go
Tubular.
That would have been funny. And Thora Birch was in American Beauty. So
Yes.
There we go.
I will say, especially that, I've always loved that delivery, but then especially as a parent, just, okay, let's go. It's
go find your mom.
So accurate, and I'm convinced that actress must have had kids at that point.
okay.
I love that
go
delivery so
find your
much.
father.
Oh, so great. Anyway.
I love that movie. Oh God, I love that movie. We need to do.
Stop. Throw the grenade down the steps.
Trini Lopez. I love how she did that really well when she's like getting really pissed and then she starts.
And then she sees him. And then she's there.
And he's in the bedroom. And he comes and he looks at her. And he looks at her. And it's just so wonderful. That sounds like a chick's movie. I love that. Sleepless in Seattle. We must do it.
Well, the goodbye girl.
The goodbye girl.
The good bye girl.
Oh.
The goodbye girl, like she gets sales.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
Actually, there was going to be a sequel.
Oh.
The script,
Where he left her?
no. It's him after he's famous. And they all live in California and stuff. But, and they did table reads of it and stuff. And they apparently, 20 scripts apparently still exist. And Quinn, the girl, has one of them. But they said that eventually decided not to because they're like, who cares? After you're famous, who cares? Which is so funny because nowadays that seems to be all that anybody cares about is who's famous? What are they up to? But yeah, they did make the movie because they're like, yeah, no one cares. Once they've made it, who doesn't matter? Which I think is really interesting and kind of admirable in a way. Because seeing as how successful it was, it's kind of amazing they didn't do a sequel.
I'm done.
Okay. Then I am too.
Goodbye, girl.
Goodbye, girl.
Oh, brother.